Hello everybody, Kia from Kia Creative Channel. This morning is our journey within to meet with the wife, and as part of the 13 weeks with the Sacred 13, we are in week 3, spending this week with the amazing wife who I have had a really interesting relationship with. I thought I'd share a little bit about my first engagement with the wife, and that happened in Bali last year in November, when I was on a retreat with the Institute for Intuitive Intelligence, learning how to deliver the method session, which I have recently just qualified as a practitioner to provide. And when the first night that we arrived, we sat in circle together, and we were gifted our beautiful Sacred 13 deck, and we were being introduced to them all and going through a really beautiful ritual with the Sacred 13, and we were invited to, or guided rather, to lay out each of the Sacred 13 cards in order of where, our and where we would place them as far as interest and what we were sort of being drawn to. So we had there's the 13, 1 to 13, 1 being the one we're feeling most close to, 13 being the one we're feeling furthest away from. And the wife was the archetype that I was feeling most furthest away from at that point in time. On the night of, I just didn't really resonate with wife. I didn't really resonate with the idea of being a wife and or the concepts around what being a wife meant to me. I was very much, not there. And then it was after on the very last day, the very last activity that we did together, that the wife came through for I was receiving a method session off of one of my glorious sisters, Nafisa. And it was during the stage of the journey in a method session where we were communing with the Sacred 13, and it was the wife who presented herself. And it was so funny, actually, because her whole entire message, it really showed me how she was, while she felt the furthest away from me, she was actually the one that was the closest to me. But we had some journeying to do together throughout that week for me to be able to really connect in and resonate with the wife. And so when I did allow her in on that last day in Bali, it was a coming home to the truth that I am supported far more than what I could allow myself to be. So I had kind of closed down being able to receive support, and that was consciously I was doing that from like a male counterpart kind of perspective. I'm Miss Independent. I can do everything on my own. I don't need no man. Like, I was very, very, very sure of myself in that way. But in doing that, I was closing down support from anyone and everyone. And I felt that. I felt the void in that, especially with female relationships. I'd closed down myself to receive support from friends and family and sisters. So it was really interesting that the wife was the one that kind of brought that truth home to me, because I had trapped myself in the thinking that the wife was all of these things that she is not. So my relationship with the wife has continued to expand since Bali. And what I really love about what she serves me with is sorry, I'm just finding the words. It's that devotion to herself, that partnership with self, that partnership with the divine, with all things, that really has been really tasty and really powerful in helping me to see why I am so devoted to myself and to my own evolution. And that's really anchored me into the wife's energy with an amount of self-esteem that I'm really grateful to have evolved through the wife with that. So that's just a little bit of background with me and my relationship with the wife. I would love now to take you all on a journey to meet with the wife. And you may already be familiar with her or not. That is okay. And yeah. So as always, I do like to give a little bit of context and background information to meditation because I think it's really important. I know there's a lot of that it is in the health and wellness industry. You'll see meditation quite a lot, but what I'm wanting to kind of educate about meditation is what it's doing on the scientific level and why it is so powerful for us in a day-to-day use, in a day-to-day practice. So I'm going to refer to Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is an incredible neuroscientist that I absolutely love. He is just a fantastic teacher. I could listen to him all day. And he talks about our sympathetic and our parasympathetic response systems. And in a nutshell, they are like the engine. They are our engine. And so the sympathetic response is our... that's our fight or flight response. So that's our high beta brainwave state, which I have spoken about last week. That is when we are in the going. Joe describes it as being on the accelerator, having our foot on the accelerator of the car. That's what makes us go. But when we are constantly going, the only way that we are able to slow down or bring ourselves to stop is when we activate our parasympathetic system. And we do that by slowing down. We're putting our foot on the brakes. And Joe describes it when we do not put our foot on the brakes, we continue to accelerate until we either crash into a brick wall or we run out of fuel. And both of those scenarios are not the ideal. That's not how we regulate. That's not how we maintain homeostasis. So when we are choosing to enter into meditation, when we are choosing to regulate our brainwave states, we are choosing to activate the parasympathetic system, which then slows us down, brings our nervous system back into that balanced state, and we are able to recover, rest, and regenerate. So when we are doing this practice today, we are going to be taking a few moments just to allow ourselves to stop, rest, recover, and regenerate. And I want you to notice how you feel before and after. And if you are someone who is familiar with meditation, I would absolutely love it if you could share how meditation helps you throughout your day. And if you notice that difference from being in that high beta fight-flight response to being in a beautiful, rested and regenerative state. So without further ado, for those of you who have joined me live and those of you who are watching back on the replay, let's do some self-sustainability together and shut off from the sympathetic world for just a moment, the superficial world, and retreat into the world within the world. So if it is safe for you to do so, just simply close down your eyes. And if it is not safe, simply lowering your eyes to a gaze at a point in front of you. And with your eyes closed, take in a deep breath now, filling your belly as much as possible and holding at the top. Feeling that breath moving through you from the expansion of your stomach and letting that air go out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Going to do this together 2 more times. Breathing in through the nose, filling your belly as much as possible and hold at the top. Hold for as long as is possible, noticing any tightness and resistance that may be making itself known to you now. And as you exhale out through the mouth, letting it all go, feel that tension and resistance being expelled out through the mouth. One more time, drawing in a deep breath, filling your belly even deeper this time, holding up the top for even longer this time. Allowing this integrative breath to anchor you into this present moment. And release out through the mouth with an audible sigh. And with your eyes closed and your breath deepened, we signify to the nervous system that it is safe for you to be here. Bring 2 fingers or the palm of your hand to the center of your chest. This physical touch at your heart center identifies that we are diverting out of the cranial brain, the analytical mind, and we are dropping into the intelligence of our heart. Our heart, which is the single organ that has the most electromagnetic energy radiating and pulsing through our bodies, opening us up to the world within the world that is our subconscious, where we have the capacity to access all things in all space, in all time. Bring to mind thoughts, feelings, and memories that evoke gratitude within you. Give yourself over to this feeling of gratitude as we hold this frequency together. We elevate our vibration. And as we do this for one, we do this for all. It is the true privilege of sacred service. And as we hold these feelings, states of gratitude and memories of gratitude, we open ourselves even wider to the expansive nature of our universal consciousness. Take a deep breath in and let it all go. Imagine that before you is a doorway. Notice the size, the color, and the shape of the door. You knock on the door, signaling your intention to go deeper, and it opens before you with ease and grace. You step through the door and you find yourself emerging into a vast forest where the trees stretch high above you. A pathway emerges just before your feet, leading into this forest. And you take a step onto this pathway with curiosity. And you stretch your hands out to brush your fingers along the bark of the trees, and it feels as though the trees are brushing you back. And as you're walking along this pathway, you notice the sounds. Is it perhaps birds singing in the trees or an owl hooting off in the distance? Noticing what it is that is coming to you, beckoning to you to make your way through this intricate forest of your heart. And you find yourself stepping into a clearing now. And in the center of the clearing is this beautiful cottage with a white picket fence around it, and beautiful cottage flowers overgrowing around the cottage. And as you make your way closer to this house, you can smell beautiful baking coming to you across the wind, inviting you into the heart of this home. And you make your way up the porch, where the front door is already open, awaiting you. to enter. And you walk through the cottage, looking for whoever it is that has been pouring their heart and soul into this glorious sense of the food that's coming across this, and they're just infatuating your senses now. And yet there is nobody in this space. Not that you can see, though you can feel them. You make your way back out of the cottage. And there in the garden, you find the wife. Notice how it is that she has appeared to you. Noticing what she's wearing. Noticing how she has presented herself aesthetically. The color of her hair, her eyes, the shape of her body. Noticing it all. And as you approach her, she turns to face you with such a warm smile that seems to just coat you in her love. She says to you now, "Hello, my sweet friend. I have been waiting for you. There is work for you and I. And I know that you are ready for it." And you ask her now, "What is it you would have me know?" And allow this answer to come to you in whatever way it will. You may hear, see, sense, or just know the response. Trust whatever comes first. And when she has communicated that with you, you then ask her, "Where am I hiding from my evolution?" Again, allowing this information to come to you in whatever way it does, trusting that your heart is delivering the intelligence that you are asking for. And when she has finished, ask her again, "What is required for me to best support my evolution now?" And again, allowing her to respond in whatever way she does. Noticing that if it is something visual, that you may be seeing it as perhaps a daydream, or seeing a mini movie inside of your mind. Or you may be able to hear the response, and you may hear it as though you were hearing something outside of you, or you may hear it as though it were coming inside your mind, in your voice, in another. Whatever way it comes, just trust and allow it. Or you may simply feel it in somewhere in your body. Or it is also okay for you to know without knowing how you know. Trust what is being communicated with you. I see the wife now standing beside you, and she turns out towards the forest. And she uses gestures with her hands, pointing out to the landscape of your heart. And she is inviting you to be vigilant in exploring the edges of your heart, for you to really be able to open yourself and expand and accelerate your evolution. And she is inviting you to do just that, to do that exploration within your heart in whatever way you are drawn to, whether that is through your creativity or creative expression. Actually, I think we're getting our concept coming through here. Yeah. Okay, let's go with that, shall we? The wife is kind of painting a really beautiful picture here for this week's creative expression concept. And the invitation or the concept is to explore the contents of your heart and see where your evolution is guiding you next. You sense that your time here with the wife is now done. And so you lean over and you kiss either side of her cheeks. And you make your way back to the edge of the trees, where you find yourself standing in front of another doorway. And the door opens easily in front of you. And you step before it, finding yourself sitting back in your seat, listening to me. Taking a deep breath in now, filling your belly as much as possible, and let it all go out through the mouth with an audible sigh. Bring some gentle movement back to your fingers and your toes and your body. And when you are ready, blink open your eyes. I would love to see what comes through with that creative expression concept from the wife, to explore the contents of your heart and determine with the next step of your evolution. And as always, this can be conveyed or translated in whatever way feels right for you. Creative expression is very much an intuitive language, and that is so open to how that can come through. And you can forward that on to my email address, which is kia.creative.channel@outlook.com. And the prize this week, I feel like I have to do another $100 voucher this week. I'm feeling super generous and excited about my service. So yeah, let's go with that. That is the amount coming up for grabs this week with your creative expression concept. So send that through. I would love to see your heart and yeah, that would just be beautiful. So that is it from me today. Just a reminder as well, this 13 weeks with the Sacred 13 is coinciding with my very first Sacred Service launch. I will drop the link in the comments tonight with the offer of what it is that I am up to, and if you would like to work with me, how you can work with me. But until then, I have, tomorrow we have the live energy evaluation. So if you would like to receive a message from the wife, if that's the way that we end up going, we may end up doing some fear clearing, who knows. We got kind of to show up at 10 a.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time and see where the wife wants to take us. But if you would like to receive anything from that, so whether that's the fear clearing or guidance, just leave your name in the comments and I will pop you on my list for tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can watch it live or on the replay. And yeah, it would be my absolute privilege to serve you. Thank you to everybody who tuned in live or is going to catch the replay. So much love to you all.